Take our isopropyl, we'll just spritz the surface. We want to get small little drops on it, and this is going to create some really cool effects.
Hey everyone, we're excited to show you how we did a dirty pour over a concrete surface. We used black, turquoise, khaki, coffee, and brass. You'll see it all here at Ligari Products.
Okay guys, get ready to do the dirty pour. Primer's already been down. We got our weather stripping on the edge because we are doing it so thick we don't want it to run off the floor that we're coating. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to lay down some clear, which is going to look black once it goes over the black primer, and that's going to help the dirty pour kind of level out and flow out, because I'm not going to blend it, swirl it, nothing. We're going to be pouring right out of buckets and get some really cool effects without even touching the resin. So here's my clear. I'm going to pour this out, squeegee it on the floor, and then we'll start the dirty pour. All right, so now I'm going to take the squeegee and just spread this out over the whole floor, and then we'll start the dirty pour process. All right, so the reason we do a thin layer of epoxy first is so the metallics, the dirty pour, when we pour it out, there's no surface tension keeping that from flowing out easy. So this clear, or you can do pigmented or whatever, right? It looks pigmented black even though we did clear because we have black primer. But even doing like, say, white or something, it'll push that out and you'll get some really cool veins through your dirty pour. So that's the reason we do a thin layer of epoxy first, so the dirty pour can flow out evenly. And if you're doing a dirty pour floor, you need about 3 times as much as our regular floors, the amount of epoxy. So say you're doing a floor where you need 6 gallons on a regular metallic epoxy floor, you're going to need 18 gallons on that floor to do an actual dirty pour without having to move the resin around. We're going to show you how to mix a dirty pour kit right now to get ready to pour onto the floor. So we have our 5 individual colors. We got turquoise, black, coffee, khaki, and brass. But what we want to do is we want to make 5 different batches of all of these colors because that's the beauty of a dirty pour. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of mix and match and pour them into one bucket and then get them to Tyler. So here's what that looks like. Okay, so there's one batch. We're just going to do that 5 times and get these ready, and then we'll hand them right to Tyler because you don't want it sitting in the bucket too long. dirty pours like this, it's better to pour out as many small beads as you can instead of big piles. If I just went around and dumped out big piles like this, you're not going to get as much design or effects in it because you have such big piles poured out, and it's also not going to level out as easily. So we don't have very much space to fill in now, and once this levels out over the next 2 hours, it's going to fill a lot of this in, and it'll look like an amazing completed floor. So before I get off, I'm just going to spray clear isopropyl on it, which will help pop any bubbles and create some really cool effects as well. And I'm just going to be spritzing the surface, barely pulling the trigger, and we might come back in about 20 minutes and hit it one more time. So I'm just looking for those medium-sized droplets of isopropyl. And then what Justin's doing is he's just brushing in this outer edge. But we can always come back and check it because again, there's a lot of these piles and beads still are going to move so much.